Good morning, everybody. We are on the 23rd of March today, which is just past the autumn equinox, or the vernal equinox as it's known here in Australia. It's really interesting. I find this time of year a little bit confusing and bizarre, energetically. So the days are drawing in. And so for us, we've gone past that equal length of day and night, and the days are now drawing in towards winter and the winter solstice. And as a result, part of me wants to start that hibernation process. It wants to start sort of turning inwards a little bit more, becoming more reflective. And yet, I am also an Aries, and the vernal equinox also starts Aries season. And Aries is all about fire and passion and taking action. It is the archetypal night where we are taking our work out into the world and we are rebelling for the greater good, and we are bringing that beautiful energy of action into the world. And so feeling that energy alongside a drawing in often feels really conflicting within me. I don't know how you guys feel with it, but I'm finding it's really interesting, especially the more I've worked with energy and cycles, the more I actually find the time of hibernation and winter is my busiest time of year. And actually, when the days are really long and summery, I almost go into my winter season and do a bit more hibernation and inward focus and inward turning. So, how do you work with the energy? Do you notice a difference between the seasons? I know certainly between now and October, November time, I will be at my busiest, I will be at my most productive, I will be at my most externally focused on a professional level. Whilst on a private level, I turn inwards and I start to hibernate through the winter. Then during summer, it's like my work turns inwards and I do things like more writing, more planning, more of those aspects of the business. But personally, I'm more externally focused. So it's like my personal and business lives are on opposing cyclical repetitions, and it can feel really strange and really conflicting as I go into those. But knowing that everything works in cycles and seasons actually helps me to understand that not everything in our life will, for example, feel like the summer, the spring, the winter, or the autumn. We have those times of spring where we're preparing the soil for seeding and we're really fertilizing our ideas, planting them, starting to prepare the ground for them. Then we have that summer phase where we're nurturing those seeds that we've planted. We're looking after them. We're bringing them to fruition. We're maturing them. Then we go into our autumn where we're harvesting the fruits, where we are working out the correct ripeness. When do we pick certain things? When do we eat certain things? Do we need to let that go a little bit longer? Have I let that go too far and it's now rotting on the tree, so to speak? And then we turn to winter, where we start our hibernation. Now, every area of our life will be cycling in slightly different ways. So, like I gave the example of before, my personal life and business life cycle in different ways. But our relationships, our individual relationships with people will cycle with those seasons as well. As women, we go through that monthly cycle. And so we experience in the 4 weeks of the month, or just over 4 weeks of the month, we actually experience each of those seasons, whether we are in our bleeding or whether we are past bleeding and in menopause. We actually do cycle in that monthly thing. Men's hormones actually cycle in a 24-hour cycle. So they're going through all of those 4 seasons in one day. And so they will have spring, summer, autumn, and winter in the one day. So, what have you noticed with the seasons in your life? Do you notice those cycles and how they repeat? Do you find that there is an annual kind of pattern to it? Do you notice a monthly pattern? What have you noticed? Let me know and ask me any questions you've got. I find it absolutely fascinating when you start working with moon cycles, the seasonal cycles, the cycles of the year, because all of a sudden, a lot of this stuff that felt a little bit crazy making before starts to really make sense. Those times that we'd prefer to stay home and, hunker down versus getting out there and, spreading our wisdom in the world. Anyway, sending you lots of love. Speak soon.